really show that emotion and really truly show that they want to be there. I mean, you guys, we've made fun of the Bears, the Bengals. How many times you get drafted and you see the guy just look at the camera like, oh my God, you know, like they clearly don't want to go to that city.
Yep.
It's just awesome to see that he embraced it so much. And that's going to make the Packer faithful absolutely fall in love with this guy. So even if he takes a year or two, I don't think he's got to worry because the old G is going to have his back.
You're an amazing person. You know that, don't you?
This next one will get you excited, Jacob. Wes Hykowitz tweeted out, Bullard, who's been the nickel with the ones. I repeat, Bullard has been playing the star, slot, nickel position with the ones, which means Nate Hobbs is playing outside, right? So you got Nate Hobbs outside, Bullard in the slot, Keyshawn on the opposite side. It's early. It's really, really early. But it kind of feels like that's the three they're going to push. And you guys know how I feel about Carrington Valentine, right? I would rather play Carrington Valentine over Keyshawn Nixon, me personally. Now, I would not rather play Carrington Valentine over Javon Bullard, if that makes sense. They play two different positions. I got you. But when you go to the nickel, what I'm saying is I would much rather have Bullard as a second-round pick, and I felt like he played pretty darn well in the slot, not the safety position, but the slot position. What if he just, again, we talked about it last night, what if he just runs away with the slot spot and forces Nate Hobbs outside, and now it's going to become Carrington Valentine and Keyshawn Nixon battling for that opposite cornerback spot. It's easy to say, well, Keyshawn's a starter, guys. Keyshawn's only making like $6 million, and that's more than a seventh-round pick that is Carrington Valentine. I want to see Carrington on the field. I'm slowly starting to kind of drift towards maybe Keyshawn's the odd man out in terms of the starters, but we know if injuries are going to happen, people are going to get banged up. But what do you think, Amelia? You're over at grinning. What are you grinning about? Do you like it or what do you think?
Love to hear that my man's getting a little respect. I know that Jacob's still pulling for him. I love that. I know that you've been, just not mad at him, Clay, just vocal on where he's struggling. I appreciate it.
Nobody's listening anyway.
Exactly, because we're just hoping that he pulls through and gets a starting spot. But I do like that. I think that, you can kind of move them around, but we really did kind of leave that out as an option after, we've gone through the offseason is we always kind of put Keyshawn in there as a starter. He was always, number one or whatever. We don't know what could happen if he does, maybe he's in the battle with Carrington instead of Hobbs. But even listening to Hobbs, his interview there, he's totally fine with just being versatile for the team. Whatever he can do to help the team, perfect. If he's better outside for us, fine. If he needs to walk inside, cool. If we go some dime looks and we have four out there, then I'm excited with that four. If Carrington gets out there with Key, Bull, and Hobbs, I like that. But we really kind of just need to see what's going to happen. Exciting to see that he's starting out early, though.
Yeah, so not only is he running with the ones, Jacob, but punched the ball out from Kraft on an underneath completion.
Yeah, the only thing I don't like about that is that he's making my man Kraft look bad. So that's like Sophie's choice right there. Quit making him look bad. I will say real quick, too, like Amelia said, I would love it if Bullard, became that slot and took that role over and was absolutely just a staple there. And then we had to force, like you said, Hobbs and Valentine and Nixon to have that battle. I know Ryan hearing that Bullard would be the starter, he's probably getting to the bathtub with the toaster, but I'm just thinking that, man, I honestly really like what I've seen out of Hobbs so far. And you could call it coach speak, but I really do think, like they've talked about how he's a physical guy. He's a violent guy. He's an aggressive player. I don't know how long I've waited for another cornerback to be. I want that, man. Remember days of Al Harris, Tramon Williams, Charles Woodson. Those were aggressive, violent corners that didn't just play patty cake with you. They went and they went physical. They went hands on.
Jacob, my childhood was that. I remember just having two dreads on the outside. I was like, dude, we are set. We are good to go, man.
I remember Mike McKenzie on one side for a short bit and Al Harris on the other until Mike McKenzie got too big for his britches.
Yep. Yeah.
But I tell you, when you said physical, Jacob, there's a player that came to mind for me, and there's going to be a lot of people in the chat, especially the younger fans, that don't know much about him other than he was an analyst for a while. I challenge you, when we get done tonight, go to YouTube and type in Rod Woodson highlights.
Oh,
you want to see a physical corner? Oh, my God, dude. Pittsburgh, the early years.
He couldn't do half that stuff he does now, though.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. But Rod Woodson was the man for sure, man. And yeah, it was just just an awesome dude too, awesome human being. But Matt Schneidman then tweeted out, Carrington Valentine's having an active first couple days, already has 2 interceptions and just had a sideline pass breakup while smothering Matthew Golden. Throw was a little high from Malik Willis. Valentine let the rookie hear about it after. This is my guy. This is my guy. And people are going, Clayton, I remember 2 years ago when you were bashing this kid because he played like Dookie. I'm going to call it how it is. Last year, I mean, the dude played – he had the best passer rating when targeted on the entire team. That's why I'm like, all right, maybe Valentine puts Nixon on the bench.
Right.
Hobbs, Valentine, Bullard. You guys have the floor. What do you think about that? Go first, Emilio. What do you think about that?
I think it's a possibility. We didn't, like I said, we didn't really check on that. I'm excited, dude. Carrington was getting hot at the end of the season. Honestly, kind of whole season he was playing well. And he seems like a worker, kind of put your head down and grind mentality, just sort of like Matthew Golden. And I love that it's, sort of the young guns going against each other. Let's battle them. But Carrington's been here. He's young age-wise, but he's been tested. He's gotten a lot of reps in the NFL. That's game time that you can't pay for that, right? That's experience that he has. So that's absolutely huge. And I think that, he's going to kind of know how to carry himself, know how to attack this year. And like everybody else, they're just fighting for a spot. Right now we can speculate all we want on positions where everyone's going to go. At the end of this preseason, if Carrington has 15 interception and he's like, had a 0 passer rating the whole time, dude's going to find a spot on the field. You know what I mean? They're not going to stop him from getting out on the field if he is that elite. Yeah,
for sure. Jacob, what do you think about this for Carrington, man? Dude just always shows up, man.
Yeah, he does. And he's got he has that Jair-esque about him. He's very loud. He's very cocky. I like that to a certain point if you back it up, but you can't argue that sort of stuff. He's the type of player that can get in your head. He can put a little brain worm in there and start just messing with you over and over and over and get that jaw going. I like that quite a bit about him. And I like that he's not afraid to be physical. He's not afraid to, I can't remember what game it was where he made the interception in the end zone. And in my head, I'm like, oh, just go down. And then he breaks it and starts, I'm like, oh no, go down. And then, with the Baltimore coach was like, go down, and go, Ed, go. That's kind of Carrington. He was like one broken tackle away from getting past the 20 and really breaking it out. But I think he's a fun player to watch. He's an ascending player. Like Emilio said, he's went through experience now. You can't pay for that. You can't teach that. That's something that he's had to go through. He knows what it is to play through adversity, being a 7th round pick. He just really is that type of player that I think can stand in here. And I would love to, honestly, right now, if I had my druthers, I'd go Carrington on the outside, Hobbs on the other side, have my guy Bullard in the slot, Evan Williams and X. I mean, look at that group right there. And then, if you have to bring somebody else in, go to a higher DB set, then bring in Nixon, because that's a great, backup there to have. And hey, maybe my guy Bo Melton's somewhere behind there. But that's my that would be my dream team right now. And obviously, like you said, injuries can change that. People that show peaks and training camp can change that. But I'm excited right now.
Yeah, and it's funny you said that too, because we just talked about Carrington Valentine. Well, we started with Javon Bullard running with the ones in the slot, right? All that, and then of course Carrington Valentine showing up already. Well, now we got Wes Hikowitz tweeting out, Keyshawn Nixon had a strong start to camp. Dobbs gets a step down the sidelines, but 25 closes to break it up. So Keyshawn, listen, he's in the driver's seat in one of those starting outside corner spots. There's no two ways about that. I don't want to misconstrue here, but I think he's in the lead for one of those spots. But, there's times that – how many times have we see Eric Stokes on the field? You know what I mean? Like they do a little bit of rotating there as well and kind of play the hot hand in that regard. So
and it's kind of crazy to think, like we were talking about what would Ja be here. I mean, we're now discussing who's going to get the reps out of these three, right? So where would we be if Ja was still here, and then trying to figure out those numbers? Obviously, wishing the best, but I kind of like where we're situated at the moment.
Yeah, for sure. And then of course our boy Tim had tweeted this out. Said defense wins another prize. He's fired up, man. And he's always on the defensive side of the field. I love it. It's like everybody else is hovering around the offense, not Tim. He wants to be where the defense is. So obviously the defense wins again. Now, to me, I don't know what to make of this. You know what I mean? Like, does this mean the defense is way better than the offense? Not necessarily. We don't know what the script is. We don't know what they're working on. We don't know the approach, right? But it is awesome that that the defense is showing up strong so far. Really excited to see some of this depth in preseason action.
I think
Now,
defense is always kind of strong right at the beginning of those kind of things, Clay, or early season.
Yeah.
Defense always kind of has that number. You're hoping that the offense can overcome, but that gets you excited that, hey, the defense can get us through the first few weeks if they keep playing, coming out this strong.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of getting to, is like the way I remember it, and I could be misremembering it, is the defense seems like they always start a step ahead of the offense every training camp. I remember Aaron Rodgers throwing interceptions all through training camp.
Right.
And people were like, oh, is this the year that, Aaron drops off, this and that? No, that's training camp. You're testing stuff. That's when you make those mistakes. You see if you can make that throw. You see if you can hammer that base shot in a cover two. You see if you could throw that 23-yard out route you were talking about earlier, right? Like just you kind of push the limits a little bit. Sometimes that can make the defense look better than it is. I'll tell you the one thing that drives me crazy, though, not to take too much of a shot here at the media, but 2 years ago and then last year again, there were media members all camp going, this defense is dominant. This defense is dominant. Wow, they're dominating this and that. And then the second the season starts, the defense didn't dominate. They're like, we were told this defense was dominant. I'm going, we? You were the ones saying it. The team didn't come out and say we're dominant. The players weren't coming out and saying we're going to be a top 5 defense. You were reporting it. And then when it didn't happen because we got too overzealous, I guess you could say, in training camp, now all of a sudden you're out, yeah, well, they lied to us. They said the defense is going to be – you were the one saying it. Am I the only one that picks up on that every year? It drives me absolutely insane. I'm like, you guys were the ones reporting it, and now you're like phantomly. It's kind of like the Adam Schefter tweet. Remember the tweet that he put out on Peyton Reed's agent? Yeah. It was like, yeah, I spoke to or someone close to the whatever. I can't remember how he worded it, but it was, they Drew Rosenhaus or the agents met with Brian Gutekunst to discuss what Jaden Reed's role will be after drafting 2 wide receivers. And everybody went, oh, then Jaden Reed's upset. And then Adam Schefter comes out and goes, people really blew this out of proportion. Like, you tweeted it. What are you talking about? So anyway, so kind of a bittersweet day today. Matt Schneidman done a great job kind of capturing this as Mark Murphy's retirement day. Was a busy one, signing autographs out there. Man, I'm telling you, I'll be honest with you guys. When I became a Packer fan, it was Bob Harlan running the show. Right. I became a Packer fan back around 03, 02, somewhere in that range. And Bob Harlan was just a class act. And then, of course, Bob Harlan hands this off to Mark Murphy a few years later. And Mark Murphy's kind of all I've ever known as a Packer fan from a CEO, president standpoint. And I think this is the stuff that he did so well. Like he would put himself out there to the point that people would make memes about him and make fun of him and this and that because he comes across a little awkward. If you think he's awkward, if you think he is, different, you're probably walking around every day of life trying to be someone you're not. I love the fact that Mark Murphy is unapologetically himself. That silly laugh he's got all the time. I mean, we talk about it all the time. We got the drop here. Where's it at?
65%.
65%. That's what man is living the high life, making a ton of money, representing the most storied franchise in the history of the most popular league on the face of the planet, right? To the best of my knowledge, he stays in the Titletown area. I think he's got one of those real nice condos over there, and I'm sure he's got multiple homes with his salary and how successful he's been throughout his whole year. His whole life, it's not just about the Packers. This dude has been successful at everything he's touched. When he was in the league, all the way down the line. Many people, it's amazing how many fans don't even know he was in the league. He led the league in interceptions 1 year. The dude was a football player. He went on, I think he got a law degree. He was the athletic director at Northwestern. And then he takes over in the shadow of Bob Harlan. Just done a hell of a job. I heard somebody on the radio earlier today. I'm not going to name drop him, but I was just shaking my head. He was like, he stepped into a situation where everything was built when they won the Super Bowl. And I was like, did he really come in 2010? I thought it was a few years before that. It was a few years before that when he came in. And it's just like, well, that doesn't count. Why doesn't it count? You know what I mean? Like, I just think everything he's touched over at Titletown has turned to gold. Emilio, you finally got to see the fruits of that labor this year for the first time. I know, Jacob, you've seen a good chunk of it a couple of years ago when we were up there. But I want to get your all's take on what Mark Murphy has done here. We got a couple other clips we'll play on him too, because I think it's absolutely awesome. As Bungie Chatterbug says, dude lived his dream, played in the league, and run one of the most successful franchises in history. That's a hell of a life. It really is. But Emilio, what did you think of Titletown, and what do you think of our boy Mark Murphy here and what he's done, man?
Incredible, what he's brought to. Well, feedback. Incredible what he's brought to the team, to the town, everything, that personality, that, the being able to just be personal with the fans is, maybe not something that's on the job, resume or whatever, but he does it perfectly. Like you said, he can go out there and just be himself, live it up as life. We're only on here for a short time. He enjoyed it. He lived it up. And for the Green Bay Packers, got to play in the league. Absolutely love him. Cannot appreciate him more. And pretty much, the only owner that I knew really, for my sake. But what a guy. So happy that I got to see Titletown, what he brought to that team, what he brought to the city. And I'm just hoping, policy keeps that going still. I want to kind of see that personality, being personal with the fans. But just what a guy.
Yeah, Jacob, here was the ovation he got at the shareholders meeting, his final shareholders meeting. I think he's still going to be around, but obviously the only reason he's stepping down is because he reached that age limit, right? But listen to this ovation he got. This is Matt Schneidman that put it out. Good little crowd out there today, too, man. Love it. So what do you think, Jacob, about the job Mark Murphy's done, man? And like I said, what did you think when you seen Titletown there a couple of years ago when we met up for the ball game?
Yeah, I mean, it was different than what I remember, man. I've been to Lambeau. I mean, gosh, I don't even know how many times, 10 to 15 times at least in the last 10 to 15 years. And each time you'd go there, it just felt like a game of like Age of Empires or like Civ, where you'd come back and you're like, oh, the Empire's expanded. Like, you know what I mean? And you walk, like, I remember walking down the street, Clayton, on the way to the game and just seeing, like all of the businesses, the hotels, the scenery, even just random Bears fan. Remember there was a random Bears fan like walking up and down like, you want a beer? I'm like, okay. It's literally a spectacle. Yeah, I mean, and that was when we were playing the Rams, guys. It wasn't like we were playing the Bears. So it's just one of those things where it's became kind of a bucket list. Lambeau's always been a bucket list thing for, I believe, anybody that believes in true franchises, seeing the mecca of stadiums, the mecca of football, in my opinion. But now it's to the point where like it's really an eventful type thing, and he did it in a way without taking away from the integrity of what it is to be the Green Bay Packers, to be a small town franchise. He did it while keeping the small town community feel, but still brought in a lot of the modern commodities, amenities, luxuries that people require. The fact that we went from, if you guys could see what Green Bay, what Lambeau looked like in like 1995, 1996, compared to what it looks like now, it's unbelievable. It really, truly is. So hats off to that man. I'll never, like Clayton said the other day, there will be no Mark Murphy slandered on this podcast. And I completely agree with that.
Seems like the people who have a problem with him, it's like every time I hear a story, and there's very few of them, and I won't mention names, but when I hear the story, it's like, didn't you kind of bring that on to yourself? You made a disrespectful comment, right? And I know I'm being very vague, and I'm being vague for a reason. I don't want to call people out, you know what I mean? But it's just like, I've never had a problem with him. I've met him a couple times at games, right? Why are you having a problem with him? Oh, because you made a comment to him that was disrespectful about his predecessor or whatever it may be. Like, I don't know, man. I just don't understand anyone who doesn't appreciate what he's done. But this was a video Tim put out. I'm going to play it real quick so you can hear the ovation a little bit better. Tim on the front row. Surprise, surprise, right? Tim always prepared.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Mark. Thanks, Mark. Go, Mark. We love you, Mark. Thank you, Mark.
Look at Ed Policy right there, boys. He's either about to steal your aunt from your uncle, or he's going to make somebody go sleeping with the fishies. You know what I'm saying?
He looks like Tony Stark.
Yeah, I love it, dude. Absolutely.
Actually, that's a good one, Jacob. He actually does. That's good.
Hell yeah.
I thought Tim was going to hit Mark with
65%.
65%. That's what we.
Hey, Goody.
There you go.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty
10.
cool. Tim knows how to do it, man. Tim has had a very eventful. Look who he's sitting next to. He was sitting next to, super fan there. Our boy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I think he actually put a tweet out with him. That's Bobby, right? Jacob,
Yeah, that's Bobby.
Yeah,
Yep.
we had him on the
It's
show.
a nice
So-
cross helmet, Jacob. That's a nice one. I might need to get me one of those.
Jeez.
So obviously with the shareholders meeting, I'm excited to dive into some of the financials and stuff like that they talked about. I love looking at it. I won't bore you guys with it on the show, but I just love kind of looking at. It's the only team. It's one of only 32 teams on the face of the planet in the National Football League, and we actually get to see behind the scenes what was profited, the media, the marketing deals, all that stuff. So really, really cool. But so Tim got to meet. He's seen Mark Murphy, obviously shouting out Goody right there.
Mm-hmm.
Our boys met up and talked with Jeff Halfley. Got to hang out with Matthew Golden.
You got
the
you got your boy's towel, right, Jacob?
Hey, I don't want to talk about it.
I think Tim might be looking to hold on to that and sell it to Jacob at a later day.
That's actually a good move on Tim's
It's like
part.
that NVIDIA stock, man. I know it looks good right now. Hold on to it. It's going to get better. You know what I'm saying? It's going to happen.
I feel like I need to start working on the draft board because Jacob's got the whole fantasy going down. Tim is just absolutely crushing it, boots on the ground. I'm over here just twiddling my thumbs. I feel like I need to start 2026 or something.
Yeah, but how many years deep are you in your dynasty on college football?
Oh, yeah, you don't want to know.
That's what I thought. All right. So Matt Schneidman put this one out. Ed Policy takes the stage for the first time as Packers president. Let's check it out.
It's kind of an emotional moment as I rest the microphone down for the last time. I'm used to addresses, moving the microphone down, following Mark for 13 years. In fact, just a few days ago, one of the media members, local media members,
Kind of hard to hear, I know, but I think, did he just say 13? Is that what it is, guys? He's been here for 13 years working under Mark Murphy. Has it really been that long that he's been with the Packers, Ed Policy? Because I know he's been here a long time, and he's kind of helped lead the charge with Title 10. I'm going to look this up real quick. Ed Policy, year arrived in Packers.
That's pretty impressive if he's been there for 13 years, Clayton. I mean, that's over a decade as a backup, ready to take over. I would think so.
Yeah, 2012. Had previously joined the Packers organization in 2012. So, 13 years. Crazy. So, and, year 13. Yeah, thank you, Tony. Appreciate it, buddy. Yeah, it's pretty wild, man. I'm excited to see the Ed Policy era take off here. And let's go get him a ring now. You know what I mean? Let's make this happen. Mark Murphy's got one. Let's go get Ed Policy. So, y'all got one more segment left in you? We good?
Yeesh.
All right, so let's talk a little Isaiah Simmons, man. I was looking earlier today, and he's had kind of he's had a good camp. It's been kind of quiet, but it's good. Everything you read on him, you don't read anything where it's like, I don't know if it's going to fit, blah, blah, blah. But I put together this. I asked AI, I'm like, hey, give me a rundown of Isaiah Simmons. Like, what's going on with Isaiah Simmons in training camp, right? And I'll just kind of hit you guys with the bullet points here. Strong start in training camp. Isaiah Simmons, free agent addition to the Green Bay Packers, has been noticeable during the first 2 days of training camp at Nitschke Field, showcasing his athleticism as a linebacker. He's making the transition to linebacker solely, right? Previously playing safety and hybrid roles for the Cardinals and the Giants, Simmons is now focused on playing linebacker, specifically the strong side position in Jeff Hafley's base defense. So when you're in a 4-3, put him at the Sam, that means he's lined up over the tight end. We know what happens in the NFL. These Ys, even when they're attached, and think about the NFC North. Who's the Lions tight end? Sam Laporta, right? In Minnesota, is it Hawkinson? Am I thinking right, guys? Hawkinson's the tight end out there, I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
With the Bears, it's Cole Kmet. I mean, those are three solid tight ends. So the thought of playing him at Sam, I really, really like, because he's going to be lining up over the tight end. And when you're in those man coverage spots or you're playing some kind of match look, he's going to be covering that Y out of the Sam. I really like that approach. I love that gold chain too, by the way. Look like Jacob love, my man. There. So, and the ink, I will say this, his ink is sick, dude. All the way down the left side, sleeved out on the leg. Kind of looks like the dude from House of Thousand Corpses right there, but I can't tell.
That's dangerous.
What is?
That tattoo, man, it's scary.
Sorry, Jacob. Jeez, okay. All right, moving along. Impressive plays. On the first day, Simmons disrupted a pitch and a screen pass to running back Josh Jacobs. On the second day, he tipped a pass from Malik Willis, leading to an interception by Carrington Valentine. So he got his hand on the ball. Carrington picked off. His athletic background, he was drafted 8th overall in 2020 by the Cardinals. Simmons is 6'4", 238 pounds athlete with a 4.39 40 and a 39-inch vertical, but his versatility is sometimes hindered specialization. So a 9.97 RAS is what he had. That's just, I'm telling you, man, if he hits here in Green Bay, this linebacking room is going to – imagine if that's your starting three. Edgerrin Cooper and Quay Walker in the nickel 4-2-5, right? Kind of mixing and matching, Mike and Will there, however you see fit based off the weekly matchup with your upcoming opponent. And then when you go to the 4-3 base, putting Simmons. And now, again, he doesn't have to worry about playing a hybrid role. You're just playing Sam Backer now, Emilio. That's exciting to me.
Yeah, I think it was either Mike or Wes on their pod. They were talking about how it's been, 3 years since he's actually played or been going into the linebacker room or whatever you would consider it, the linebacker room for, defensive meetings and things like that. The past 3 years he's been playing, as a safety and with the Giants. So he's excited to be back actually in the linebacker room. Matt was kind of talking about how he'd be that star sort of nickel role. But that's a fast nickel. That's a big nickel. I think you could also, because you want to, in nickel, you're going to want to keep Quay and Cooper on, right? So at some point you would maybe want to rotate in the nickel, or maybe you rotate out a linebacker to get a breather. But whoever's got that green dot's probably not coming off the field. So you would think that if you're doing that, you're rotating out Coop would be the only thing. But I also hear them talking about how fast he's going to be with his pads even on. So that for him showing up now, I'm excited to see what happens once they get the pads on.
And Jacob, I don't know why, man, but I thought he was thinner than this. This was his RAS here. I don't know what year this RAS was gathered, but he's basically the same size as Cooper, right? 240 pounds is what he's sitting. I mean, he's sitting at 238 according to the RAS. I don't know if this is just the draft
RAS.
2020 or an updated one. Yeah, so this dude, he's built like Quay and Edgerrin Cooper. He really is.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't understand, I guess, what Arizona and New York was doing, trying to put him in that weird kind of safety role. To me, this is kind of just an athletic freak, and for them to kind of limit his position, if what Emilio said was true, is that he hasn't even seen the linebacker room in most of his NFL career. That, to me, says that's untapped potential. I think that Hafley is going to absolutely crack into this guy, and who knows what could explode out of that. Could be an absolute monster. If you said that we had a three-headed beast between Quay, Cooper, and this dude, I'm so excited.
Yeah. And then it goes on to say simplified role. The Packers are focusing Simmons on off-ball linebacker duties, allowing him to master one position rather than juggling multiple roles, which he finds beneficial. He mentioned that one of the first things he talked about. Teammate praise. Running back Josh Jacobs called Simmons a unicorn for his speed and anticipates his physicality in pads. He's already thinking about Sunday, boys. Josh Jacobs going, damn. We put these pads on, Isaiah Simmons is going to be after me, right? Safety Xavier McKinney, obviously All-Pro last year, right? A former teammate praised Simmons' size, length, and ability to cover and tackle. I didn't even realize that. They were teammates in New York, right? So these guys already have a little bit of rapport. And if he was playing a hybrid role, Emilio, that means he probably played alongside Xavier McKinney at the safety position at some point. So Goody's just putting it all together, man.
Mm-hmm. Knows the calls, knows how X is kind of thinking, and it's just you see that. Who else was it? That new Hobbs before they was it Evan Williams maybe? New Hobbs from high school or something. He went to school with his brother, so Hobbs had come over to the house. It's like how small the world is, or how tight knit this Packers team is going to be. It's layered. It's unbelievable how much. One-on-one time these players have had outside of just being a Green Bay Packer now.
Yeah, for sure. So It goes on to say team fit. Simmons is competing in a linebacker room with Quay Walker, Edgerrin Cooper, Isaiah McDuffie, Tyron Hopper, and Christian Welch with no guaranteed roster spot but high potential impact. One thing that sticks out to me there, no one, and I mean no one, is mentioning Colin Oliver as a stack backer. Yeah. Every article we've seen, everybody says defensive end. So I think we can kind of start to press into that a little bit, although he hasn't been on the field. But it just feels like – I feel like somebody behind the scenes would have let the cat out of the bag if they're going to play a hybrid role. So probably going to see Colin Oliver as strictly a defensive end. And I was excited to see him play a little weak side backer in certain sets, especially that 4-3 look. But personal motivation, Simmons aims to be himself and contribute to the team without trying to prove a point, leveraging his experience and athleticism to earn his role. I think he's going to fit right in here with the Packers. So
yeah, and I think that, you know, to that Oliver point, Clay, let's just give him one spot and kind of learn it. Maybe we can dive into that a little bit later, but that also kind of keeps the opening for Simmons. I like that he still has a shot to, you know, really get some playing time there, not have it, you know, kind of snipped by a younger guy there.
Yeah. And if we look at that's all on the article there. I just want to take a quick little look at the and you guys can find that in the Patreon group. Just scan the QR code in the upper right. That's one of the benefits of being in the Patreon group as opposed to just joining as a member here on YouTube, although you're welcome to do whatever you would like to do to support the channel. Look at the defensive side of the ball here. We look at the linebacker room. We're showing Quay Walker, Edgerrin Cooper, obviously, as the starters. Now, they got Edgerrin listed as the Mike. We've been very vocal here that's very interchangeable. Depends on your opponent you're playing that week, what the call is. Do you want Cooper to rush on this play? Do you want Walker to rush on this play? Sometimes that can be predetermined who's going to play the Mike and the Will just on a per-snap basis. You got Isaiah McDuffie, Tyron Hopper behind them. Then Isaiah Simmons, Christian Welch, then Jamin Johnson. Me personally, I feel like Isaiah Simmons is right there in that group with McDuffie and Hopper. Now, with that being said, if you had to cut one of those three, I'm going to start with you, Jacob. I'm going to make you cut one of these three players, okay? Cannot carry all three of them. Which one will be the odd man out? Isaiah McDuffie, who just signed the 2-year extension, right? Although it wasn't a lot of money, but he signed a little mini extension. Tyron Hopper, former third-round pick that we really haven't seen hardly anything of, or Isaiah Simmons. Who would be the odd man out there, man, for you?
It'd have to be between the two Isaiahs. We've seen what we have in McDuffie, and I think that he's a fine substitute. I don't think he's necessarily a flashy starter or anything like that. I don't think he's ever going to be a Pro Bowler, All Pro, whatever the thing is. But he's a stopgap, and I think he's a serviceable player. I think at this point I'd probably. Man, I think I'd have to go with. I'd have to probably let McDuffie go. Just with the idea, if Simmons did have more upside, and I think he probably does, just with the athleticism that he showed, the draft stock that he has, I think we've seen again. I think we've seen what the ceiling is for McDuffie. I don't think we've experienced what the ceiling for Simmons could be.
Gotcha. What about you, Emilio? If you had to pick one of the three to cut, who would it be, man?
Between McDuffie, Simmons, and Hopper, right?
Correct.
Brutal. Because Jordan Love was talking about how McDuffie's, you know, been his locker buddy since they got there together.
Right.
That's man, I would that's tough. I honestly
I'm telling you, it sucks.
I think I would say Simmons just because I know that, you know, we've seen, you know, we've had Hopper and McDuffie in here. We know what's going on. We just kind of brought Simmons in just to give it a shot. Yeah, he's got speed and everything else, but if it hasn't worked out in other places, maybe there's a reason.
Playing safety there.
I know. Emilio? That's what I was just going to keep going. Yeah, but they had him as safety. But right now, if you know, water gun there, I would probably have to say Simmons just because I don't know any others.
Yeah. Well, I asked you guys that question specifically because we carried 5 last year. All right. So we'll probably keep all 5. I just wanted to know, I wanted to ask it at that angle to kind of get where you guys are in terms of where do you place more value on Isaiah McDuffie, Tyron Hopper, or Isaiah Simmons, the odd man being asked. 2-0 for this. McDuffie. McDuffie is 26, but his hairline is 33. I would say his hairline's 53.
I was good. Yes.
That's me.
Yep.
Hey, but listen, he is a millionaire. We are not.
Right.
That is
He's
correct.
living his dream. We're talking about him living his dream. So
Exactly.
I think I would rather have a bad hairline living my dream than
Eating a turkey leg. Take a peek on that when we peel out of here at the end of the night.
You know, I will say this about McDuffie too. You guys correct me if I'm wrong. It kind of feels like his teammates love him.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's to the Jordan Love point. Is he wanted his locker buddy. It's Jordan, then Isaiah McDuffie, then Malik. But he wanted his locker buddy. You get a little bit. You can talk to a defensive guy. You're not going to see him all day in practice. There's that camaraderie there, and he was right by him, right by their side. He helped carry the tray out. You know, I love that.
Yeah. And this, by the way, he doesn't have to worry about this hairline yet. You know what I'm saying? That's right around the corner, though. That's a rough look right there. That is, don't answer the door, sir. That is the Grim Reaper knocking. You know what I mean?
I'm not going to, so quit asking.
That's a perfect drop right there, Amelia. Look at you, man. I'll tell you a serious hairline, or another similar hairline, I should say, is right here. Right?
Dang.
Solid, too.
She's hot.
Yeah. As you guys could tell, we got 3 minutes to fill here, so we're trying our damnedest to get this one in. You know,
How
this
dare
guy,
you?
I kind of feel like his hairline's been manufactured. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-oh.
I don't know. We'll just say, Which, by the way, he's been throwing some picks. What I'm hearing, I've seen the chat earlier. What's the update we got on Caleb Williams this camp? And I heard Ben Johnson was chewing everybody out at practice. So
So much so that he stopped practice multiple times over the last few days and pulled the ones because he was so upset.
I thought they stopped practice because somebody got lightheaded from the smell of nail polish. Is that not true? Was that not what was going on?
That's probably
Fresh
it.
polish.
Now that I think
Look at this
about
guy, right? Could you imagine this guy leading your franchise?
Yeah.
Look at this dude. Unbelievable.
Brutal.
All right. Parting thoughts, gentlemen. We have 2 minutes, a minute and a half to
Parting
fill.
thoughts. Didn't get to talk about the jerseys. They are fresh. The helmets are money. I love that they airbrushed them. I think that's going to be absolutely killer. And let's go. Let's add some more alternates. I remember when we stopped in the Hall of Fame there, Clay, you know, in Lambeau. When we stopped, I looked at all the jerseys. I almost kind of, just eyeballing it, like, where are we going to go next? And what's going to kind of be? And I'm glad that they went all the way back and, kind of add that detail. I think it's going to be a good look.
Yeah, and I got to stop being so negative, but
here we go.
The same knucklehead who thinks he's a football expert on the old X machine over there on Twitter, his response was to post a screenshot of a $1,500 price tag on a helmet, on one of those helmets, like to bash the Packers. That was for the airbrush one. They're going to have a cheaper one that's just decal that you can purchase. I will have one of those in this studio. I will wear one of those live on this show.
Please.
I thought about breaking out the old Cousin Eddie one. Remember when I put the leather helmet on last year and y'all said I look like Cousin Eddie from that thing? Y'all talk amongst yourselves. Let me get that.
No way.
I personally, I haven't gotten to talk to you about this, Amelia. We covered it last night. I think they're absolutely awesome, like really honestly awesome. And we watched as they did. I don't know if you saw the clip that they put on the Packers social media where they did the unboxing, and it was the most emotion I've ever seen out of Romeo. You know what I mean? Like, he was sincerely. He was like, "Oh, these are nice."
It's unbelievable. I mean, because nowadays it's gray it out or white it out, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I love that we added some age and texture. We're about history here, and I think that going back to where we started, go back to the roots is amazing.
I think I may do a live stream tomorrow, and just a quick one early in the day before the night one we do. And I think I'm going to actually do a quick little, just a 10-minute video, a recap of the 1923 season, which is what those jerseys are from. I think that'd be cool to kind of take you back in history there. You know what I'm saying? Look at that right there.
Dude.
My Cousin Eddie out there with the coffee.
Yes.
Hooper's full.
I was going to put it on the screen. Respect Oranges. You serious, Clark?
That thing is money, Clay. I'm putting it on next time I'm up there.
Yeah, I love this thing, man. This is I wear this when I piss Mandy off. It's a little extra, you know what I mean? So that's a birth control hat, a lot like AFAM's mustache. You're not getting anybody pregnant wearing that. You know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna happen. So. What were you going to say, Jacob? Anything else, man?
Yeah, just real quick. I watched, like I said, a couple interviews before we hopped on here. One of them was with Matthew Golden, and they asked him basically, like, how do you feel? Who can you lean on this team? And he said that I honestly feel like I can lean on everybody on this team. He says that obviously the wide receiver room, we all have each other's back. He said there's a sense of brotherhood already with this team. He goes, I can even lean on the DBs, which I'm not used to, kind of thing, which was really cool to see. And then with Jordan Reed, why do I keep saying it? Jaden Reed, they asked him, like, where are some room for improvement that from last year, and he said everything. He said my catching, my blocking, my yak, the route running, everything, which was just really great to see. He was not mad, he was not angry. It was complete humbleness. It wasn't like coach speak, wasn't interview speak. He said they asked him what are your individual goals, and he goes, I don't have individual goals, I have goals for the team, which was really cool. And they asked Matthew Golden, what are your individual goals? And he says, I got them written down. I'm not going to tell you guys till the end of the season. Like, I love that mentality with both those guys. And then the last thing, which I was really, ever since they had the locker room upgrade, all of a sudden somebody mentioned it in the comments. Can you guys notice that you can hear the questions? Did they do an upgrade in the locker room with the press corps and everything? Because I can hear the questions being asked. I can hear the questions being answered. There's not a lot of like.
See how much cushion they put in that thing, Jacob?
I'm telling you,
it used to just be wood shells.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
They actually put a little bit of foam in there, and it dampened the sound a little bit. The lighting, everything. I love the the showers calming. I mean, you got the sound, you got the sauna, you got were they drinking? Josh Jacobs had peach mango.
Yeah.
You could add caffeine to it.
I'm trying one of those right now.
I need that right now. He said, this would be fire with some ice. Absolutely. I mean, just the little things, man. You're coming into work every day. And when you're working outside, Clay, where you spend the most money on your shoes, right? So that's what it's all about, right? You got to take care of your body.
Yeah. I'm excited, man. It's going to be a good year, dude. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, again, guys, let's see. Bungie says, answer the interview questions with all the right answers. Got it.
That's how he's saying how that explains why they drafted Golden.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Golden is I'm really excited about it. I love what Rich Bisaccia said too, and we covered it last night. He went to Golden and said he's calling him Bullet after Bullet Hayes, who played for the Dallas Cowboys. He's the fastest man in the world at the time, Olympic gold medalist, because he wore number 22 as well. So kind of gave him a little homework assignment. Go read up on Bob Bullet Hayes. So really, really cool.
Respect Orange says, anybody remember Fruitopia? I remember that.
Oh yeah,
as cancer in a can, baby. RFK. I gotta get that off the shelves.
No idea what you're talking about, Fruitopia.
Oh, buddy, Jacob, we made it all the way to the end, and you got us canceled at the end. Unbelievable.
Sorry, guys.
All right. That's it, guys. We're out. Thank y'all so much, man. The chat was on fire. Sorry for the little hiccup there at the beginning with StreamYard. We'll try to continue to work around the issues we're having there, but y'all were awesome in the chat. I want to give a special shout out to Josh Martin for the super chat, as well as Clint the Armchair Quarterback gifting those 10 Packer Fan Total Access memberships. And again, if this was your first time tuning into PTA, I don't know how you made it to the end, but we're glad that you did. Feel free to sub to the channel and make sure you hit that bell for notifications. That way you're notified every time we go live, and you can go, okay, I'm staying away from that channel for the moment.
Right.
All right. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Again, we may get a random stream early in the day, and then we're going to go live tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Central Time as well. I want to give a shout out to Trucker John's daughter, who was in the comments yesterday, just thanking us for all the kind words we had to say about her pops. And, it was a blessing to get to know John, and I say let's go win the whole damn thing for him this year, and that would be absolutely awesome. So, all right, everybody, have a great night. Please be safe out there, as we always say here on Friday night live streams. If you drink, don't drive. Do the watermelon crawl. All right, we'll see y'all tomorrow. Take care.
Here we go.
Bye, guys.